Good Wednesday morning, Quad Cities. Today is when we see the worst of the heat and humidity combine to give us some pretty high heat index values as we go into the afternoon. Excessive heat warning continues for all through Thursday evening, but a new development on this in that if you live south of the Quad Cities, right along US 34, this excessive heat warning will actually not expire now until Friday evening. And I'll show you why here coming up in just a second. Your forecast today up to 99, which will be near a record high. A couple of clouds. We'll see those feels like temperatures right around 115. Tonight, it is oppressively warm and humid again. Like this morning, we'll be seeing readings only drop to the upper 70s. And then tomorrow, with a cold front coming in later in the afternoon, I think that puts more of a squeeze on the warmth. And what that will do is likely send more of us closer to 100 for a high, which would also be a record high for tomorrow. So here's your feels like temperatures for today. Yeah, they're quite high, between 110 to perhaps as high as 115 degrees for some of you. Tomorrow it gets just a smidge better in that we're not talking about as many widespread 110 degree readings, if you will. Those readings kind of more lower into the 105 to 110 degree range. By Friday, more noticeable, especially if you live north of the Quad Cities as that cold front comes in, kind of scours out the worst of the humidity, and you won't see triple-digit heat here, but you will still see it south of the Quad Cities, and that's why those areas will remain under an excessive heat warning now through Friday evening. Quick update on the severe storm zones as we go into tomorrow. Moved off to the east. Some good news there. I'm not surprised though, because if you look at the temperature profile of the atmosphere, and I'm going to show you this, it's easy to understand why. So this is the temperature as you go from the ground all the way up to the top of the atmosphere. What we like to see is this number constantly falling. We need cooling air. Notice it's not doing that right here, just above the ground. The temperature is actually rising. And what that does is as soon as a storm cloud starts to form, it hits that level of warmer air and it just stops growing. It actually falls apart. So with that atmospheric cap in place today and tomorrow and likely Friday, our potential of seeing any storm development is quite limited. The heat dome will be on the move by the weekend. We're going to move it back to the southwest. We'll open the door to a northeast wind for really the remainder of the month of August. This is going to be nice not only the weekend, but a good chunk of next week. However, I think the heat will return, not as intense as it is right now, but in some form in the first couple of days of September. There's September 2nd. You're seeing that cool air is on the way out, and it will be replaced, unfortunately, by some warmer temperatures. The other unfortunate thing about this pattern is there's little to no rain in here, which means the drought situation will continue to take a step backward, but at least we're going to cool off, and it's just in time for your weekend. Low 80s across the board, and even several nights next week that we will be in the nice, cool, comfortable 50s.